The meditation or the assembly or the gompa is the core of every monastery. This is where the pujas and worships are being held and the events and ceremonies are being celebrated. And also the layout of the buildings of the meditation and the gompas itself represent the way to enlightenment and remind us the very necessary steps and path onto it. And also, as you can see, the architecture of this beautiful gompa is traditionally defined. And yes, Kopan Monastery has 3 important gompas, each having its own specific purpose. I want to remind everybody regarding the symbolic features found on the traditional Tibetan and Buddhist gompas and monasteries. On the very rooftop and the entrance of the Buddhist monasteries and temples, you could find the Dharma chakra flanked by 2 deer. One is male and other is female. The Dharma chakra is also called the wheel of Dharma, representing the 3-turning wheel of the Shakyamuni Buddha, and deer are considered as a very peaceful animal, representing the peacefulness and compassion that is shown all over the world. Coming from the main temple, walking up to the stairs, and just in front of the main gompa, Lama Tsongkhapa Monastery, you could see this beautiful Tara Shrine. Actually, this Tara Shrine, the statue of the Tara Shrine is quite special because this is the first statue that was offered to Kopan Monastery at the time of its establishment. And yes, as you can see, it is elaborated with beautiful flowers and the view is very much impressive. The main gompa, Lama Tsongkhapa Gompa, is the first thing you'll see while walking from the main entrance. And yes, just the courtyard in front of the main gompa, Lama Tsongkhapa Monastery, is the debate courtyard. And yes, this, as you can see, is the debate session where every morning and evening philosophical students hold a debate session. And I've learned that it is quite seemingly shouting chaotic, but in reality, it is a well exchange of coordination of arguments against counter-arguments in a particular subject. And as you can see in this debate session or the courtyard, there is a beautiful statue of 21 emanation of Tara as well as 8 Nalanda masters. Without further ado, let's explore this debate session, and yes, come on in. One main difference between the study program to monks in Kopan school study than the school program in normal education system in Nepal.
Study program here we run is where we run the study with the principle of helping others. How to give yourself to the others, with the moral education, we focus on moral education to help others or to promote the human values, the sort of not just human but all the whole sentient beings, their life values, and to understand that, to able to give that your full potentiality for the sake of others, to able to acquire, generate that, how to live your life yourself, with the morals, with the ethics, values. So that's we teach. We do not teach people to conquer the world. We do not teach children to how to defeat others, how to gain yourself, how to make more profit than others. We teach children how to lose yourself to get others the victory. So that is this is a totally, maybe in some cases people find it is irrelevant or is not logical, but in Buddhist point of view, the finding your sort of your best potentiality, or finding gaining yourself most happiness is give yourself to others. So in the general words, like you have you if you want to be happy, you have to win, you have to defeat others, then you be happy. But real happiness comes when you give victory to the others.
And yes, I've learned that Kopan Monastery has various affiliations of Sangha communities, centers, and charitable projects, in fact, which has been handled on the behalf of the Foundation of Preservation of the Mahayana Tradition, as well as Kopan Monastery. Tell us about that, affiliation programs and charitable projects as well.
When Kopan Monastery was established, and then a lot of foreigners from Indians and also from all corner of the globe, they came to visit Kopan Monastery, study. So when they find the teaching methods, the meditations or the Buddhist ideas, or the we rather call it a universal education. We did not. Our teachers, our gurus, Chapcha Lama Zobrunju, when they started to teach to the foreigners, he didn't teach them like Buddhist ideas or cultural sort of values or some religion. He was just simply teaching the universal, we call it universal educations, is a moral sort of ethics educations, which is universal, like giving others happiness, or respecting others sort of others' rights, or others' happiness. These all are universals. So if you are good to others, and you will receive the betters in return. So these are universals. Okay, so human to human, not just beyond the boundaries of country, politicals of boundaries, or colors of your skin, or your language, without that barrier, just to human sort of heart to heart touch connections. So these universal values, he teach those with that values, so which is really sort of very adapting, and people find it that very helpful to their life. So when they discover that this is very valuable, precious, and they want to bring this same to their sort of friends, families in the country, cities.
In short, they want to
share. So when they went and share with their communities, and then more people find it's meaningful, then they want to sort of set up one kind of systemic center where more people can distinguish. So Kopan Monastery, or the founder of the monastery, Chapcha, he never aimed to sort of have so many centers all over the world. He never aimed to wanted so many disciples to follow him. He just did his part, his best. So those people are attracted. So when people find these values, so they want to share to their community. So they start to form a group, and then they start to invite our gurus there and teach more. So then this start to grow in many countries. This is how it grows. And in 1978, and there's so many people, so many students from all over, they wanted to sort of invite gurus in so many places. And then Guru realized, and then he's the one person, he cannot go all around, he cannot run day and night to all the countries. That's not possible. So now he thought, he said, now like this, we cannot be sort of, we have to be organized, so that even I don't exist, or even I die, or even I cannot travel to any, I can. We want to sort of make sure these values.
Guru, I've also learned that The best part, I went through the website of Kopan Monastery, and there I could learn that there are various important highlights, culture highlights present in the Kopan Monastery. Being one of them is there are 3 meditation hall, which is the core of every monastery. Tell us about the important, what are the culture highlights present in the Kopan Monastery?
The meditation halls are like for one for the foreigners, one for the local students. So every day there's some parts which is we have to with the Buddhist culturals way of starting, like morning meditation pujas, performing sort of different pujas, which is for certain morning and evening sessions, which is totally kind of Buddhist. So at the daytime there's a normal schooling. So this is the general day, but every sort of Buddhist important days, or then we try to sort of bring those Buddhist teachings, values, and how to adapt that into our life for the general public also. So in the Fagu upcoming, like 15th of the first month of lunar calendars, we have a gathering of maybe a few thousand people.
Is that the biggest puja?
It was the biggest one, which is mostly from Buddhist communities, but there's a lot of others from other communities also join, and which we conduct different ceremonies and Buddhist lectures and interaction program. And one is in the fourth month, in the fourth month of 15th of the fourth month, which is Buddha's Parinirvana Day. That day we do like fasting ceremonies and different activities which everybody can join. And for the foreigners or the outside the temporal sort of visiting students, we have a 1 month course, which is in November course, which is like a 1 month a complete package of meditation course, which in 1 month, which we start from very beginning to the summary of whole Buddha's teaching and how to adapt into their life. So this is meditation course, which we started in 1973, I think. Since then, every year, every month there's one course there. Sometimes when the request is high, we have to run parallel courses.
The Gompa present in the Kopan Monastery, it's quite interesting and very much unique to know that Kopan Monastery holds almost 3 Gompas, if I'm not wrong. I have learned that there's Tantric College, Lama Tsongkhapa Gompa, as well as Chenrezig Gompa, if I'm not wrong, right? Tell us about that.
We have these three different halls because we run different programs. So sometimes we have to run different program at the same time. We have to make sure, so when we give the courses to the foreigners, visitors, okay, so make sure our local students, their program is not disturbed, or they can carry on sort of their own program. And so that's why we have to have this separate concept of the separate meditation room. So when people sort of interested people travel from very far, and they come, and they need certain requirements, certain environment to sort of to observe themselves. So we have to create that kind of environment for them. So that's why we have to have a separate Gompa, which is Chenrezig Gompa, which was destroyed by the last earthquake strike. Now we are starting to rebuild, and another is Tantric College. So within the local students, within the monks, and because Buddhism, the subjects or the study program is so vast, very vast, that one person or one person's or maybe only just group of people cannot sort of adopt or cannot sort of preserve that whole at a time. So, so we have to split some part of the practices. So that's way. So that's why at the same time we can preserve the whole Buddhist teachings practices intact, not by even not by individual but by different groups. So when we combine them, it's all together there. So concept of tantric college is like there's a Buddhism has so two categories of teachings. One is Tantrayana and one is Prajaparamitayana. If you don't give a focus to one, if you don't give a more emphasis on one, so it is very difficult for one person to gradually sort of study everything at a time. So that's why we have a certain specialized monk group who are more talented, who can advanced, so who can do the advanced studies. So for them we have this separate small group. So it's like you have a commando battalions in the army, you know, like you have for some special tasks, they have a group, so they are always ready to sort of do that thing. And when the people need help from that sector, so they are always ready. Yeah.
And tell us about the debate session. I've learned in the website of the Kopan Monastery that every morning and evening there holds a debate session with the philosophical student in the quartet, I guess. Tell us about that.
So this debating system is one of the very key point of key methods, points that our study program. When you reach the grade 5 or grade 5 of normal education, normal schooling, then up to grade 5 you are studying just like a Sambodha Lipi, Sambodha language, Tibetan literature language. So when you are at the grade fifth and you are ready to begin the Buddhist philosophical study program, so then from there you started your Buddhist philosophical studies, so which takes another 18 years to complete graduate PhD. So in this whole study program, so debate is a very key. Learn the Buddhist the sort of the teaching, essence of the teaching. The debate is just not like arguing, but it is presenting your logical points of your understanding, because this only through this you can learn the Buddhist philosophy unmistakably. Because when Buddha gave teachings, he did not teach like one model. Okay, you wake up this time, you sleep this time. That's not. He began to teach according to the needs of the person, according to the mental capacity of the listeners. So when at the same time when the doctor diagnoses the patients, for some patients maybe he would say, oh, you must drink hot water, or for some patients, oh, you shouldn't drink hot water. Okay, is it on the basis of the person's capacity. So Buddha's teaching was presented differently. So then some of the teachings, many teachings are just, if you just follow the words, so sometimes it's contradictory. Like Buddha say, for the very first teaching, he says, oh, that is inherently exist. Okay, and later part of the teaching, oh, there's no inherently existing. So verbally it contradicts, but where Buddha has no contradictions. So Buddha has Buddha's only goal is so to bring that persons out of the ignorance because he has the omniscient mind which fits him and how to take him to the next level. So when we if we didn't sort of get that essence by using different logics, if it is not logical, so then you have to find, oh, it must be meaning something, it cannot be true. So to find it teaching, so Buddha's teaching as one is conventional teaching and one is ultimate teaching. So to find the ultimate message, so we have to this debate. So how we debate is like so when we ask the questions, when the person who replies, if his answer is not logical, if then it's a cross examination, the person who will argue or who will put the questions will put him the questions different angle, and if the answer is not satisfactory, he can use more logical, or if his answer is against to some of the experts comments, so we will try to cross-examine with that experts, the learned ones, the theories are presented ideas, and together with and quotes the Buddha's his own words. So it begins with the recitations of Buddha's quotes from the Langavadra Sutra or any sutras. Okay, so we will ask them to please explain this.
Yeah,
What you understand. So a person who understand, he will answers according to his understanding.
Of course.
Okay, so maybe his understanding and my understanding not the same, different.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I am understanding wrongly, maybe I am using some others sort of logic which is not really sort of true logic to prove that. So to prove your own understanding that it is the ultimate, so you learn the debate. But the very sole purpose of debating is sort of analyzing yourself, because thoughts arise within yourself. So when you have different thought arises, so it's not possible that every time you go and ask teachers. So Buddha say, you are your own teachers. You have to find the truth yourself. So how we find it? The teachers, Buddha can only guide you, or Buddha can only give you the tips. But ultimately you have to find yourself, and then you find the answers within yourself. So that is the purpose of the debate. Buddhism, that Buddha's knowledge is not just for the Buddhist or not for certain just communities. So there's so much things. There, of course, there's many other good knowledge from all the religions, and as we know, there's so many good, very important things that Buddhism give us to live our life more meaningful. And even as we as a Nepalese, we are so proud that Buddha was born in Nepal. We promote, we sort of make so much statement that Buddha was born in Nepal, and we argue for that. But for me, like, if we can present the Buddha's the teachings, the universal education, universal teachings, which is very beneficial for the whole world. If we promote this knowledge, or if we share this wisdom, so it's natural that people will look for Buddha, and they will find the history of why was Buddha was born. Then they will discover that Buddha was born here, and they will find how Nepal is important. But if you are unable to present the Buddha's wisdom and the importance of that, no matter how you propaganda or how you make loud yourself that Buddha was born in Nepal, people won't care. No, who will care who is this Buddha? No, so that's way. If we want to promote our country, we have to promote the knowledge, wisdom that was a resource from here, that was discovered here. So not just the preservation of some culture or some theories. Buddhism is just to teach us to how to live our life meaningful, how to be more happy within ourselves, and how we create more happiness and harmony around us. So it is very important for all of us to at least learn some of the wisdoms and adopt that into our life.
These beautiful gompas are the result of beautiful things coming together, of the designs, layouts, the Buddha's words, the Buddha's vision, and the vision of the spiritual leaders, as well as the symbolism and tankas. It is definitely a place of dharma, of teachings, empowerment, tantric puja, and retreats as well. It shows the path to enlightenment, the welfare of all the sentient beings, and the opportunity of truth to those who wish to hear.
In the school itself, like the Kopan school itself, it's about maybe 270 students who are engaged with the modern educations. We have a class starting from the kindergarten, KG, up to grade 10 at the moment. And after grade 7, we have all the subjects that are taught in the modern school, such as science, mathematics, social studies, etc. It's more or less it's very similar to the other modern schools. But the extra things that we taught here to the monks are about the Dharma, about the Buddha Dharma. Then for that we have another like extra curriculum, extra curriculum. When they finished like grade 10, then probably the focus would be about the Buddhist philosophy. So then as for the Buddhist philosophy, then the whole period for graduation is about 20 years. So when they graduate that one, then they get the degree called a Geshe, so which is equivalent to the Doctor of Philosophy in Buddhism. So that is the last degree that they will be aiming for. But before getting that degree, then they are provided with all the modern the educations. So that is the kind of like the basic the basic the planning or the system how it works here. There isn't any like a specific criteria. The main thing is that the family should have the willingness to send their children, and also the children who are to be monk have to have the will to be a monk. Then if the monks to be is about like let's say 8 or 9 years, then that is the most suitable period to become a monk. So apart from that, there isn't any like other criteria.
I'm standing very next to the main monastery, the Lama Tsongkhapa Monastery, and behind me, as you can see, is a very important highlight of the Kopan Monastery, Zambala Fountain, and it contains a very large number of small and bigger statues of Zambala underneath these waterfall. And yes, you can see it in a very clear view right now. Yes, walking back from the main Gompa and climbing downstairs to the sided steps, we could see this huge big prayer wheel, and it is believed that even turning it once, it provides us a great benefit. And also it is said that these big prayer wheel contains millions of mantras of the Buddhas of Compassion Chenrezig, and as you can also see inside it, you can see a beautiful pictures of the Buddhas of Compassion Chenrezig and also 21 Tara. And the most important thing I want to remind all my dear audiences is you can also pass your accumulated merits by spinning or circumambulating one of the many holy objects present in the Kopan Monastery. So do drop by. Kopan Kopan Monastery in the Celtic tradition of the traditional Buddhism Tibetan Mahayana under the guidance of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, where monastic lives runs on a different time period. Today we surrounded ourselves with the beauty and the colors, enjoying the peace away from the hectic city of the Kathmandu Valley, and also in fact a century of the beauty and the peace in a pestilent world. And yes, after this episode, I'm pretty much sure that you'll definitely show up to the Kopan Monastery. Tell us about the experiences. As I always say, we are open to your advices and suggestions, so do drop by. Until then, I, Alicia Baltracharya, with my entire crew member from Bodhi Television, Buddhism from Lumbini to the world, will definitely continue my pilgrimage tour in the next episode. Until then, stay connected to Bodhi Television.